Hey, what's up you guys, it's Eli. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do my press-ons and how I make them last. I keep my press-ons on about a week, maybe a week and a half before I decide to take them off and do them over. Here is everything I used. I have my nail file. I also have a dehydrator and primer that I showed first. This is cuticle oil. I also have cuticle remover, and also to remove my cuticles I have a cuticle pusher and cuticle cutters. I use gel polish for my press-ons. I use the Model 1s. I have this color that is more of a nudish, like a brown nude with sparkles, and then I use a sparkly top coat. I have two different kinds of glue, and I use the Kiss nails. I'll put them either on the screen or in the description so you know which ones they are. I always start out by softening my cuticles with the cuticle remover. So I'll put them on and let it sit for a little bit just to soak up. I don't want to put it on and then immediately get to pushing because the cuticles will still be hard. So I apply it, let it sit for a little bit, rub it in, and then I go in with my cuticle pusher. And I push my cuticles back as much as they'll allow me without any type of pain. And from there, I'll go in and cut them. Once my cuticles are nice and clean, I'll go in and file my natural nail down. I'm not sure what grit specifically this nail file is, but it's nothing that is too hard or abrasive. I just want to do a light file on the top layer and nothing that's going to get too deep and thin my nails out too bad. From this step, I will be using my dehydrator and primer, of course, starting with the dehydrator. And you want to put that on and let your nails get back to that really gray type of color that looks like it's freshly filed before you go in with your primer. Again, these are the Kiss nails, the really natural ones, and these are really short. I don't think they're too short, but they're listed as really short. I start out by going in and measuring out all of my fingers. I'll only do one hand, and then I'll just use the same number on my other hand. The main thing to remember for this step is that you want the nail to fit wall to wall. As you can see here, it's not too thick to where it's overlapping my nail, and it's not too thin to where it doesn't fit at all. It fits perfectly with the size of my fingers. Once I get to applying, I'm just going to put the glue on the nail itself and not on my finger. I feel like when I put it directly on my finger, it spreads too much and it'll start running off the sides. You don't need that much glue at all. I start with a little dot and then kind of just spread that around. You could also go in if you had a nail drill and file the inside of the nails. I used to do that. I personally am not sure that it really made that big of a difference, so I stopped doing it. But if you wanted to go in with your nail drill bit and get a little scratch on the inside of the nail, you can absolutely do that. One thing I really love about these nails specifically is that they're very thick, so I can go in and file this outer edge pretty aggressively without it getting really dull. I also go over, and before I do my polish, just a very, very light sand of the top layer, because I feel like if I don't, when I put the gel polish on, it is just very, very slippery. So it's easy if you like bump a table, or if you're just doing a lot with your hands, you can kind of chip one side of the polish. So I started doing this step recently, and it has very much so helped with keeping my polish on. And once that is done, I did dust off my fingers just to make sure I'm not getting any dust stuck in the polish. And I use Model 1s for this entire nail set. So I'm gonna do the Model 1's base coat, a very thin layer, and I'm gonna cure that for about 60 seconds before I go in with my actual polish color. And I cured my polish color for the entire 90 seconds before I went in with the top coat that I also did for 90 seconds. I feel like when I don't do the top coat for 90 seconds, it kind of has a sticky residue that's hard to get off. I know you're supposed to use rubbing alcohol and just wipe it clean, but I feel like it's just not as good as when it gets fully cured in the lamp. And the absolute last step is cuticle oil. I love this part. I got this cuticle oil from Amazon and I just think it smells so good, so I love putting it on. And once I do my cuticle oil and rub that in, my nails are all good, and these will last me at least a week. I'm a nail biter, so I might pop them off once it gets past that weak point, but they do last.